So I don't know about you, but I'm sitting here trying to stay warm, stay dry in the midst of the snowstorm. But just kind of wanted to share with you, we're in Galatians and we're talking about how grace is the key, about holding on to the freedom that we have in Jesus and how it's so easy to fall back. And so the next couple of weeks, we were to look at Galatians 4 and Galatians 5. And so maybe as we kind of combine those two, as we join together next week, maybe you might want to go back and read through Galatians 4 and Galatians 5 through verse 15, where we find some really kind of cool stories. We find the story about how Paul says you used to be enslaved to all these other gods, all these other things that you were trying to prove yourself to. But now you've learned of Jesus, but now you've kind of gone back into that because you've not made Jesus about grace, but about grind, about doing something to, to find his favor. And then Paul talks about a season of time where they were doing life together. These 2 years where he was with them and he was sick and they were caring for him. And they went through some really huge things. And so he's kind of blown away that they so easily fall away and forget. In fact, then he uses this interesting concept or this interesting illustration that we're going to unpack next Sunday. And it's about Hagar and Sarah. It's about where the covenant comes from. Is it coming through, Hagar, if you know the story, it's when Sarah wasn't able to get pregnant and finally she said, well, maybe the covenant needs to come through. Maybe we need to get involved. Maybe we need to figure it out and fix it. And so maybe it should come through my servant. That's trying to figure out the promises of God on our own, by our own doing, our own energy, our own earning. Well, that didn't work out. Instead, Sarah waited, and eventually the promise came through her. That's what grace is about. Trusting that the promise comes through Christ. And so take a look at these 2 chapters. Spend just a little bit of time thinking about it and join us next Sunday as we continue in this series. Unchained, grace, not the grind.